Today we're going to be solving a problem that involves proportional reasoning. And in this question, we are going to solve for an unknown value in a proportion. I am going to show you a few methods of solving this problem. But remember, there's not always just one way to solve a problem. So as we're doing this, think about other ways you could solve this. Today's question says that there are 270 grade 9 students at a high school, and 80% of these students attend the spring dance. Half of the grade 9 students who attend the dance buy their tickets at the door. How many grade 9 students who attend the dance buy their tickets at the door? Now, there's a lot of information given in this question, so let's start by underlining the important information. How many grade 9 students attend this high school? That's right, 270. How many of those students attend the dance? It tells us that 80% of those students attend the spring dance. But only half of these students who attend the dance buy their tickets at the door. That means the other half must have bought their tickets in advance. So what is the question asking us to find? Well, the question wants to know how many grade 9 students who attend the dance buy their tickets at the door. So what's the first thing we need to find? Do we know how many students attend the dance? We don't, but we know the percentage of students who attend the dance. So how can we figure out the actual number of students? So we're going to start by finding out the number of students that attend the dance. Well, we know that 80% of all the grade 9s attend the dance, and there are 270 grade 9 students in this high school. Now remember, I told you we're going to be using one method to solve this. We're going to set this up as a proportion. A proportion is a number sentence that shows two equivalent ratios. So first we need to figure out how to write 80% as a ratio. Remember, a ratio can be written using colons to separate the two terms, or it can be written as a fraction. How can we represent 80% as a fraction? What can percent be written out of? Percent is always out of, that's right, 100. So 80% means 80 out of 100. Now how am I going to write 270 as a ratio? Well, a ratio shows a comparison between two things. What are the two things that I'm comparing here? We know that 270 represents the total number of students. And what is it that we're trying to find? That's right, we're trying to find out how many of these students attend the dance. So the ratio would be the number of students that attend the dance out of the total number of students. Since we know the total number of students, I'm going to put that number as the denominator. Do we know the number of students? No, that's what we need to find. Because this information is unknown, let's label it X. Let X represent the number of students that attend the spring dance. And to show that the statement is proportional, we're going to make these two fractions equal to one another. Now we need to solve for the unknown. We need to find out what X is equal to. So I'm going to show you one method of doing that. The first way that we can do that is by finding the cross product. We're going to cross multiply. 100 multiplied by X gives us 100X, and 80 multiplied by 270. Now we can do this on our calculator. Therefore, 100x is equal to 21,600. How do I solve for x now? Do you remember how to isolate a variable? Well, the operation on the left side of the equation is multiplication. So to undo that, I need to divide by 100. 100 divided by 100 reduces to 1, or 1x. What do we need to do to the right side of this equation now? Well, whatever you do to one side, you must do to the other side, so I need to divide the right side by 100. Therefore, 1x is equal to 21,600 divided by 100, which gives us 216. So x equals 216. That means that there are 216 students that attend the spring dance. Well, did we answer the question? No, the question said, how many students buy their tickets at the door? Well, now that we know how many students actually attend this dance, can we figure out how many of them bought their tickets at the door? Let's try this. So what other information were we given? Well, we're told that half of the students who attend the dance buy their tickets at the door. So we need to figure out what is half of 216. Again, we're going to set this up as a proportion, and I'm going to show you a different method of solving this. How would you write half as a fraction? You may recall that 1 over 2 represents a half. So half of 216 students attend the dance. Well, we're going to set this up as a proportion. Remember, a proportion is a statement that shows that two fractions or two ratios are equivalent or equal. So how do I set up my second fraction? Well, do we know the total number of students that attend the dance? Yes, 216. So a certain number of students out of 216 bought their tickets at the door. So what do we need to find? We need to find out how many students buy their tickets at the door. Since this is unknown, let's call this y. Now we could cross multiply again to solve for the unknown, but I'm going to show you another method where we find the scale factor. A scale factor is a number that you can multiply or divide each term in a ratio by to get the equivalent. Well, in order to get from here to here, do you think we multiplied or divided? Well, since the number is larger, we must have multiplied. We need to figure out what the missing value is. 2 times something gives us 216. Well, if you can't do this in your head, you can always take the number 216 and divide it by 2. You can do the opposite to figure out what the missing number is. 216 divided by 2 equals 108. That means that 2 times 108 is equal to 216. Check on your calculator to make sure. Remember, multiplication and division are related. So 108 is the scale factor. Now that we've calculated the scale factor, I know that I have to multiply my numerator by the scale factor as well. Remember, whatever you do to the denominator, you must do to the numerator. 1 times 108 gives us 108. That means that y is equal to 108. Do you remember what y stood for? Y represents the number of students who buy their tickets at the door. Are we done the question? Yes, the question asks us to find out how many students bought their tickets at the door. Great work today. Now remember, this was just one way of solving this problem. Check out all the other playlists to find different ways of solving the same question. Do you think you can come up with a different method of solving this on your own? Try it.